My name is Adrian Nanchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification next to it for the latest uploads. Now this one is about research. Research, research, research. Whenever you do something, you have got to, when it comes to actions and decisions, strategic and tactical actions, decisions, you've got to be between 38 to 70% sure of its success. Anything less, and you need more information, more research. Anything more, and you waited too long, you were too hesitant. This is rooted in game theory, where it's talking about the optimum amount of information needed before a decision is made. So when it comes to decisions and what to do, you want to be able to research as much as you can about it. Research everything you can before you take action. For example, I, in the future, want to start writing fictional books. So down here I have got the complete list of George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones, excluding the other two to be written and released. A Dream of Spring and the other one, I can't remember what the other one is called, but that. And I got a nice selection of Terry Pratchett books there, and I got all the Lord of the Rings books, and I got 50 Shades of Grey just there, and a few other books as well, like Last Mohicans and I'm trying to think what else. Oh, The Revenant and The Martian. So what that means is, I'm going to research, I'm going to read these books, as well as read books or interviews from like J.K. Rowling, Tolkien, George R.R. Martin, Steve King, so on and so forth. Take 10 hours from each person, their advice on writing, take it all together, combine it with like reading these books and analysing how they actually write, you know, what kind of language do they use, and the structure and like actual the flow and all the rest. So first-hand experience and listening to their interviews and combining it together, mixed with research in general like Freytag's pyramid, character arcs, character story, narrative, stuff like that. And then I'll say, how confident am I to start writing my own fictional work? Am I 40% or am I 70%? Ideally I want to be 70 to 80%. Just margin of error, that's all. Just margin of error. If I'm 70% sure, nothing wrong with that. But in the context of writing books, I want to be 80%, extra 10%, just 80%. And it's like, yeah, I'm very confident now. I'm not just confident, I'm very confident. So I want to take all the information in. I want to research, and then take action. For example, also for the hemp business, I must have read about five or so books on hemp, and I must have watched about 200 videos on YouTube, and a dozen or so interviews of people watching or conferences to be confident, to be competent talking about hemp, because I don't want to get caught out. And with this channel, it was all in my head anyway. It just needs bringing onto paper, because it's like I live it, so it's everything I know. Let's write it down, share it with the world. So research is important because you don't want to get caught out on things. You want to ask yourself two questions: what am I missing, and what don't I know? Because those two things can trip you up, and those two things, when you reduce the things you don't know, you increase the chance of your success, which means the chance of you failing is decreasing, potentially exponentially, as you learn more stuff. But also, when you want to research things, you want to read at least 3 books on the topic. So these books on like Steve King and all the rest, I will read 3 books on, say, screenwriting or plot or narrative or dialogue. Maybe not 3 on each, like dialogue and screenwriting, but certainly 3 books on writing fictional work. And then the research is, I will forever keep learning. Whenever I see things on YouTube that are worthwhile, add it to watch later. Whenever I'll join some Facebook groups and just keep an eye on them, or pages, I'll like them, see what they have to say. I'll always be open-minded to new ideas, potentially even conflicting ideas, because you want the idea to enter what is called the marketplace of ideas. Whereas here's 2 conflicting ideas, or here's a new idea, and you want it to stand on its own merit in the marketplace, and saying, does this work? And other people have tried it and tested it, and they say, no it doesn't, or yes it does, or X, Y and Z in between. You don't just want to take things for granted. The research, You want to be able to argue against yourself better than your opposition can. Because when you can argue against yourself, that means you're trying to disprove your own knowledge and find your own weaknesses and chinks in the armour. And when you find those chinks, you can exploit them yourself and then try and counter them. And as you're trying to counter them, you're getting a defence ready for when the opposition comes. Because that way then, they can't argue against you as well as you can argue against yourself. And that's why I want different ideas to test and conflict and see what works, see what doesn't work, purely based on their merit. So research is vital, because research, when you're trying to argue against yourself, you're cutting to the truth. And when you're cutting to the truth, that is like the universal foundation. Nothing is everything else is false, and when it's the universal foundation, then you can't lose, and you can only win. So research is important. So the question of the day is, what are you currently researching about? What are you researching about? For me, I'd say it's more researching strategy, tweaking and refining what the hell I'm doing, getting it right. Building these channels over the past few days, been tweaking around, trying different strategies, and now it's like through trial and error, I've realised what works, what doesn't work. So I'm improving the strategy. Writing fictional book is extremely low priority. It's something like way down the line. So I did a bit of research on that, but that was about back in April. So it's not really relevant. It's all there, but it's not really applicable now. So that's just it. Just researching strategy, just refining strategy, thinking what works, what doesn't work through trial and error. But what about yourself? What are you currently researching? And don't forget, click on the subscribe button and press the bell notification next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that?